I'm Heath Spillers, and I'm married to Mary Jane Pridgin, the oldest daughter of David and Reba.
I'm Lisa Welsh. This is my husband, Randy. It's been an excellent experience so far. Everyone's very friendly. The view is beautiful.
The Pridgin family brewery has been open for over 3.5 years, and I'm involved in most aspects of the beer making process. This is the computer interface that we use when we brew beer. So this is the hot liquor tank, the mash tun, and the boil kettle. So all three tanks are visible here. There's some pumps, and we're able to input temperatures. This is in a 3-barrel electric system, so when we make a batch of beer, we're going to end up with 125 gallons of wort, which will actually turn into about 95 gallons of beer. This tank simply is a water heater, the hot liquor tank. This is the mash tun. This is where the grain goes. So we mill the grain, we place it in this tank. This tank has a false bottom, kind of like a coffee filter. We'll introduce water. We recirculate water over the grain for about 60 minutes. We begin to transfer the wort into the third tank, which is the boil kettle. And at the same time, we introduce fresh water to rinse more and more sugar out of the grain. And when we end up with about 125 gallons of wort in this tank, we'll bring it to a boil. And this is where we would add hops to the process. But once the beer leaves the boil kettle, it goes through the heat exchanger so that we can drop the temperature so that yeast can safely be pitched. Once the wort's in the fermentation vessel, it's going to stay here for approximately 10 days. So from the fermentation vessel, we're going to transfer it to a bright tank, and our bright tanks are kept in the cooler. So once it leaves the fermentation vessel, we transfer it into a bright tank. The bright tank, the intent there is that we can carbonate the beer. We ultimately will place it in a service keg, and we normally get about 18 kegs of beer per batch. Virtually every beer we make has quite a bit of this in it, and from there it depends on if it's a brown or a porter or a stout or a Hefe or IPA, and so those things will determine then what other grains are added, whether to give it particular colors or to give it particular flavors. So in this tank we have our next new release, which is a Mexican lager. So it'll be ready to go probably mid-April, late April. So it's actually a beer for my son's birthday, Ethan. And Ethan and I share a birthday. It's June 8th, and he'll be 21 and I'll be 50.